Go back to the shop and channel and all that good stuff. Time for disassembly, but a few more things were purchased for this particular job. I got this. I'll put the link in the description for where I got this. I got this dust boot off of Etsy, and I need an 80 millimeter for my new spindle. And this is 2.5 inches outside, 1 2 1/4 inside, so you can put hose over it. I'm going to use a rubber coupler into a hose going similar to this here. And then, like my other dust boot, the skirt comes off so you can change bits easy, and then it's held in with rare earth magnets, like so. The other thing is I'm going to be using a 5-gallon bucket for the water for the cooler. And so I'm adding a very inexpensive transmission cooler, which it sit in the back, mounted to a piece of wood. Transmission cooler, and it'll go in here and out here, and it get cooled before it goes back into the bucket. It gives me more life on the water, I guess. So that's it. Now let's go over a little bit of details here. So I have to remove, obviously, the router, the dust collection system. Oh, by the way, I also changed the wheels on this thing because the old wheels were rubber and soft, and it wouldn't wheel around as easy as this. So this dust hose is going to get replaced. Of course, I'm going to unplug the router. I'm going to redirect the dust here to go through the table. So I eliminate this 90-degree bend, and then it'll pick up here and go into the cyclone, the mullet cyclone. The chains are full. I can't put anything else in the chains. So I'm going to be running the cooling lines and the control power line for the spindle, just like I've run this line for the router. And what I do with it is I put it the furthest distance away from here, which is over in this corner. And then I set up the hose, and then I put everything else is going to go in here, and I clip it to that when it's extended to its full length. So then I don't have any problems with pulling on things when I go into the corners over here to do any machining. So let's take this off. I got to cut those zip ties. Zip ties are always your friend. And everything will be zip tied on the new one. I've also got 2 90-degree fittings for the water coming in and out of the spindle. So instead of going up like this and around, it just comes over like this. And then I got 2 90-degree fittings to go in and out of the cooler, of the transmission cooler. Transmission cooler was like $39 off of Amazon. So I'm going to go up to a 2.5 inch hose. So I don't need this anymore. I'll get that out of the way. Now to removal of the, I think I've got is this going to work? Yes. To remove let me turn this around, of course, so you can see what the hell I'm doing. I'm removing the router first. Got to get this so it's loose, and then I got to take the dust collector thingy off. Oops. Oh, there it is. I think that's the one. Nope, that's not the one. Where's the one? Here we go. Dust collector. This, like the other one, has the dust boot bottom comes off, so you can change the the bits. So slide this out. Oh, little. There we go. Now I have an excuse to buy the standard bottom base and the plunge base for this trim router, because I'm not going to throw it away, that's for sure. So this trim router can become another of my small collection of routers over here, and I'll have another small plunge router, which is kind of nice. The router base kit for that, I think, is $160 or something like that. So I'd take that off, put this away, and now I remove this mount. Normally I'd have a drill up here doing this to get these out quicker. But all right, so clean that off. Now, these are the two mounting brackets, and I believe I use this one, but let's look in the manual. Let's RTFM. Let's RTFM to be sure that that's the one we're going to use. And that is, here we go, 6040. This is a 6050 plus, so you got to make sure you get the right thing. Okay, so it looks like, yeah, this adapter plate screws on here, or does it? Yes, and they want to screw it onto the top screw hole. So you can put one here. Yeah. Yeah, so I get the screws. There'll be 4 screws holding that on. Let me get the screw packages. There's no torque specs for these. You just tight. And then the mounting bracket for the 80 millimeter spindle is here, and I have to remove the clamp before I can put this on the machine because it's grooved along here for putting the screws down in the holes that mount it up like that, but this clamp is in the way, so that has to be removed. Okay, so other page, and I see what we got to do here. So we need yeah, that's interesting. Those look too long for what I need to do. Let's see. Oh, maybe not, because there's a big shoulder. I thought the screws were too long, but there's a big shoulder right here. Okay, Mars home. So get the other hex key. So now I open up these, dump these out. Well, oh, it's 2 bags. How about that? All right, so these have the washers that go with them. Huh, fascinating. Oh, no. That doesn't look right. I think I have to look at some more stuff, and I'll be back in a minute. Helps if you have the hardware in the same place. I had a couple of bags that were buried under some stuff over here that I needed to extricate, and so now I've got the 4 screws that are going to hold the bracket on for the spindle, and it mounts, of course, right here. So all these screws have flattened lock washers, and I was missing the lock washer bag. So there's that. That's snug. Let me get one more in here. That's not the right size. There's the right size. And the larger ones that I try to get in there for holding the actual spindle in place. Let me put this in here. And like I said, there's no torque values for these. They just go. You can't see that from here. I'll bring it down. Take a look at it. This is the adapter plate, and this is the clamp for the spindle. And this has got 2 screws holding it onto the gantry. Excuse me, to the Z-axis. The gantry is here, and then these 4 screws here holding this in place. That's very, very rigid. And then I put the spindle in, and this goes on top of that. And I think I need to put this on with screws first. I think. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But let's see. If I just loosely put it in there. Yes. I'll get to the message in a minute. Loosely put these screws in here. This also allows me to adjust the spindle up and down if I need to get it situated correctly with relation to the spoil board. Okay, I think that's good enough. Let's see. Let's get the spindle, and I want the there we go, about like that. I think I can change it. I want the water fittings over here. So there's a spindle in place. Now let's do a trial fit of the dust collector boot, and it slips up onto the 80 millimeter spindle, and it's divided around the top, so these are like little springs, kind of, and it slips very nicely out. The hose clamp is one of these, it's got the screen, the finger thing, and it just slips on here, and you tighten it up. Now it's tight. If I loosen just a little bit, I can scoot it around. I think I'm going to bias it more to this side because the water's going to be on this side, and of course the power cable is going to run this side. The dust collection on the other side of the back of the CNC is to the right of the center line on the table, so that kind of makes sense to go over here. And then like all of them, the skirt with the brushes on it is held in place by rare earth magnets, just like that. This is from KrakenSD, John Grisham on Etsy, and like I said earlier, there'll be a link to his Etsy store in the description. So if you want something like this, he's got others as well. But if you want something like this for an 80 millimeter, give it a try. So what we're going to do now is we're going to plug everything up just to run the motor for the first time, the spindle for the first time, and see how quiet it is. I've been told these things are very quiet. So, well, it doesn't take much to beat a trim router now, does it? I haven't got a place for the controller yet, obviously, and just for giggles, I've got it set up right now at maximum hertz, which gives it about 24,000, 26,000 RPM. And then turn it on, and let's hear the sound. Man, that's quiet. That's really quiet. I wonder if it's quieter when I start running water through it. And I turn it down with the dial. And I turn it off. So that's how quiet this thing is. It'll probably be quiet with the water. Now you can run these things, it's said, for up to 30 minutes without water cooling. I'm never going to do that. I'll have water cooling on it all the time. The other thing I need to do is, I have all the hardware for it. I need to make a mount for the transmission cooler, which will go in the back like this against the plywood back I have on here, and the pump will come up here, and then it'll go out here. I'm actually going to cool it afterwards. So what the out is going to go into the cooler and then down into the bucket. So let's see. That's where I am right now. I'm going to finish this video, and in the next video we'll continue on with this setup and adjustment and making it all work. So I'll a place for the controller. I'll show you putting the cooler in and all that, and then we'll do all the plumbing. So until next time, make great things out of wood.